now in the United States, Donald Trump, and you wonder, what does Putin have on Donald Trump that he always has to be beholden to him, his buddy in vileness. And if I don't know if you're going to show the American people the statement that he made, but it's beneath the dignity of a human being. It is so horrible. You think, no, somebody must have made this up. Not even Donald Trump could go this far. As I've said, he's in a limbo competition with himself. How far can he go? Well, now he's gone below sea level, below ground level, and this statement should disqualify him from running for anything, much less president of the United States. I think to hear her comments. So sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think so many people agree with you, and I summarized it. We just showed it so people could see it, but because it was so far off, as you just said, from what should be stated. I did want to ask you, I mean, you seem to have this really touching moment with her after she gave that speech you just referenced. It was caught on video. What did you convey to her?
Of course, I conveyed condolences and the hope that she was correct, that he had not died, but we all were suspicious. Because when she made her speech, she was enormously received, and she came down from the stage to thank me for some things, and of course, I extended my sadness for what had happened, but subscribing to her position at the time that he might still be alive. But he was assassinated, and now they won't let the family have the body to bury or to examine or anything. This is vileness. To your first point here, Putin is probably the richest person in the world. Probably the richest person in the world. Forget all these ratings that people have. The richest person in the world. He's also the most, well, not the most evil, stiff competition for that honor, but nonetheless, among the top 3 or 4 most evil people in the world. What does he have on Donald Trump that he has to constantly be catering to Putin? Telling Putin, go into these countries, NATO countries. NATO was there to stop Russia, to keep Russia out. They have been successful for nearly 75 years. We will celebrate that security success. And then we have, what's his name? I usually have him nameless, saying he doesn't support NATO and encouraging Russia to invade NATO countries.
Record high overdose deaths in 2023, rampant homelessness, deadly drug addiction, and unpunished shoplifting and car break-ins. Businesses are fleeing and the city is dying. But how did it get to this point, and can it be fixed? So I met up with J.J. Smith, a citizen journalist who's lived in the Tenderloin, the heart of San Francisco's drug crisis, his entire life.
I started to see too many of my family, too many of my friends, a lot of my friends dying off of fentanyl.
Said harm reduction works. My friend Erica says that it may not work. Oh, where do you guys disagree? Just real quick, final question.
If the Narcan wasn't out here, how would I save anybody? That's Narcan, honey. That's what they're doing. They're coming out here. They're handing out pipes. They're handing out Narcan.
Do you think handing out pipes is good? Handing out fentanyl?
Why wouldn't it? They don't hand out fentanyl. No one hands out fentanyl.
No, not fentanyl. Foil.
Yeah, why not? What are they gonna do? Grab that shit off the ground? They're handing out.
Encourages people.
They're handing out foil that's not.
Do you think it draws people into the city?
The dope draws the people into the city.
San Francisco neighborhood has had a problem with having sex workers and the men who pay for sex workers driving through their neighborhood looking to score. So they put up barriers. That happened. And it worked. But now months later, another neighborhood in the Mission, just a few blocks away from that original neighborhood, says the trouble has come to their turf and that the sex workers are now out in force there. NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana joins us live tonight. This time he's at Shotwell and 20th with basically the same story that we had about the other neighborhood.
Yeah, Jessica, a couple nights ago, our cameras were out here on Shotwell Street around dinner time, about 8 p.m. or so, and pretty quickly we saw the action here. The residents here on Shotwell say that this narrow street recently has become overrun with traffic, solicitation, fender benders, and sometimes even threats. On a chilly San Francisco night, this woman wore what looked like red lace underwear and stiletto heels as she walked down the middle of Shotwell. People here say this and the jam of nighttime traffic here have become a major problem.
Everyone has a story about a hit and run. Everyone has a story about an altercation.
This resident did not want to be identified because of concerns for his safety. He says he was among a group that was threatened by a sex worker recently, saying her pimp would come by and shoot them all. He also says residents know this kind of activity has happened here for years, but finding used condoms in the street, being threatened, and the volume of traffic is all new.
This neighborhood is worst. It is clearly this one. Some lists even say this is the most dangerous place in the country. And that's because crime here is basically legal. Police don't issue citations, they don't report crimes, and when there are obvious drug deals or violence going on, they look the other way. And you will see some of that later. So while the statistics show this neighborhood is bad, we have no idea how bad it really is. The Tenderloin has been called the largest open-air drug market in the world. It's said that you can get cheaper fentanyl here than anywhere else. And that is just part of what makes this place so dangerous and full of crime. The Tenderloin also happens to be the epicenter of homelessness in San Francisco. And San Francisco might be the epicenter of homelessness in the country. Plus, there is no debating that this neighborhood is very, very dirty.
For the fentanyl bazaar, people were selling everything from stolen clothes to stolen steak to stolen shrimp to stolen Red Bull. All sold for a fraction of the cost. While the couple hundred people out here were mostly drug addicts selling random stuff they had snagged from a Macy's or Walgreens earlier that day, you might be wondering who's breaking into cars and stealing the more valuable loot from places like Louis Vuitton. After the cleaning squads had been sent out to clean up after last night's festivities,
hundreds of protesters marched through the streets of San Francisco, chanting and calling for an end to the violence in Gaza. Those protesters walking up the Octavia entrance of the Central Freeway at about 2 p.m., shutting down the roadway and briefly blocking an on-ramp at Van Ness.
We're going to keep being in the streets. We're going to disrupt. There will be no peace until there is justice.
Well, first, let me wish everyone a happy President's Day. I have these cherries here in this pin reminding us that George Washington said, "I cannot tell a lie. I chop down the cherry tree." Now you're talking about a president, a former president who cannot tell the truth.